Welcome back, folks. I'm Jake Ellenbogen, and I'm happy to say that draft season is here. Now, obviously, we'll keep tabs on the Rams news, but it doesn't appear anything is coming out anytime soon, knock on wood, because I don't really want anything to come out right now as I'm recording this video. We are talking about the talented Iowa State Senior Bowl standout wide receiver, Jayden Higgins, and why I think he not only makes a ton of sense for the Rams, he's one of my favorite players in the entire draft. I've been watching quite a few prospects, and I'm almost done with the wide receivers entirely, but I've been watching quarterbacks, linebackers, defensive linemen, corners, all of that. Jayden Higgins is one of my favorite players in this draft. Before we get into it, though, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Be sure to follow me on all social media, including Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and Kick. And in addition to that, just want to let you guys know that today's sponsor is BetUS. You can get a 150% bonus match on your first deposit using the code YouTube150 and 125% on your following two deposits using that same code. So if you're looking for a sports book, just because the NFL season's over, although you could also get in on the action with NFL future bets. But if you don't want to go that route, the NBA, the NHL, the MLB, UFC, all that is all available. So check it out over on BetUS. And as always, be sure to bet responsibly. All right, guys. So Jayden Higgins, like I mentioned, this is a guy that I really like. I mean, he's 6'4", 215 pounds as of right now. You know, obviously when he measures at the combine, he might be a little bit different. But he's a former Eastern Carolina transfer. Okay, so he goes to Iowa State, top wide receiver, day one, two-star recruit out of high school, 22 years old, currently will be 23 in December. But here's the interesting connection here, and I don't want to take credit for this because the person that put me on, put Jayden Higgins on my radar is Blaine Grisack, who's a really good friend of mine and obviously writes for Turf Show Times. He, pretty much put him on my radar, him and Jalen Noel, because he went to the Senior Bowl and he told me straight up, like, Higgins, like, this is the guy that the Rams should get. Not T. Higgins, but Jayden Higgins. And it's interesting because he also brought up, and it's one of the first things I thought of as well when I saw the Iowa State, he brought up Nate Scheelhaase, who is going to stay with the Rams, as we've talked about. He's going to stay with the Rams in a, enhanced role. But this is the former offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach at Iowa State. Now, the quarterbacks coach part doesn't really mean much when it comes to Jayden Higgins, who's a wide receiver. But the offensive coordinator spot, you could absolutely say that means a lot. So, look, Higgins has familiarity with one of the guys on the Rams coaching staff, one of the top guys that they're very excited about, maybe for his career in general long term, has a connection there. So this is a guy's second highest targeted wide receiver in man coverage this year, PFF's highest graded wide receiver this year. For my pros, before we get into watching some film, he has the ideal size at, the X receiver position. And in case you don't know what that is, the X receiver essentially is going to be your best receiver, or at least the receiver that can get down the field, win off the line of scrimmage, whether it be press, whatever, win off the line of scrimmage, be able to stretch the field, be able to win those 50-50 jump balls, and have some ability to get back, run those curl routes, run the deep go ball. That is really what you're looking at. And the Rams don't currently have that. Puka Nacua could absolutely play the X, but having Puka Nacua play the Z and having him in motion makes a lot more sense, because if you typically speaking, you're going to have the Z in motion, whereas you're not really going to have the X in motion on the level of you're going to have the Z. And with the Rams, a lot of these, with the motion, everything, motion is a big thing for this team. Now, they could very well use Jordan Whittington more in that role and get him more in motion. But you want Puka or Jordan Whittington in motion. Higgins, you could put him out wide. I think it'd be a perfect complement for those two. He's got natural hands, only 7 drops in the last 4 years, and only 3 at Iowa State, the last 2 years. Improved contested catch guy. You talk about 2023, 35.7%, not ideal at that size. He got it up to 55% this past season. He's a chain mover, had 60 first downs this year as opposed to 31 last year. Great route runner for his size. You're not really expecting, this big receiver to be able to move the way he does, but he has no issue getting off the line of scrimmage. Now, I'll get more into why that's still there's still a con there. Like if you're looking at pros, he's really good at getting off the line of scrimmage, but the way he does might not translate as well as some others. So we'll get into that, but really good at getting off the line of scrimmage. He's a good blocker. He's not a dominant blocker, but he's a good blocker and he's a willing blocker. His foot quickness in combination with his size is just special. I mean, that's just really as simply put as I can make it. He manipulates defensive backs with his pacing. So when I talk about pacing, when you come out of your break, you'll start to see like wide receivers when they really know they're in control, alpha dogs, if you will. You look at a Justin Jefferson or just a perfect example in this draft, Travis Hunter. He just does such a nice job of kind of manipulating the defensive back with his pacing. You're going to start to see the different speeds. When he needs to turn on the jets and kick it into third gear, he's going to do that. But he doesn't always have to do that, right? And so he's going to kind of set up his man in that way. He knows he has it in his back pocket. Jayden Higgins doesn't have anywhere near as much of explosion, acceleration, any of that as a Travis Hunter, but he knows that, and he's able to still kind of take something off a little bit, when he's running his route, and then he can really kind of accelerate and throw off a defensive back. He does a really nice job of that. He's a very, very high IQ football player. You can see it right away. He sees things. He sees certain tells in the defense. He's going to go and find that soft spot in the zone. There are some guys that just don't do that enough for me. Like, honestly, Travis Hunter, I think, is by far the best receiver in this draft, just from a pure ceiling standpoint. But the thing that Travis Hunter doesn't really do is do these little things that you see with Rams receivers, guys that can find the soft spot in the zone, guys that can, redirect themselves and get themselves in position. Okay, my quarterback is going off schedule. He's totally off script now. We have to change, the play needs to be changed on the fly. I need to get open. I need to find a way. Hunter's not doing this, but this isn't about Hunter. The whole point of that is that he's the top receiver, as far as talent in this draft. Higgins does that, and he does it well. And he comes back to the football, and he's going to adjust when the football is in the air to make sure that he can box out his defender and do it well. So I love that about him. And I just love the ability to redirect because it gets there's a lot of traffic. It gets clustered when you're out in the second level running a route. You could run into your own guy. You could run into two defensive backs. I mean, to be able to kind of move yourself around while staying on that plane and keeping yourself available for a quarterback to hit you in stride, that's a skill, whether people realize it or not. And, he does a really nice job with that. He's physical enough to fight back to the football, uses his body again to box out a defender like he's a power forward, which is what I want to see. Don't look like Tarzan and play like Jane. That's not what Jayden Higgins does, and that's a good thing. That's something I really like. He can eat a tackle, stay up, and really make plays after contact, after the catch. Showed out at the Senior Bowl, as I mentioned, in front of his peers and against his peers, which is a really good sign. And he is really interchangeable. I like him at X, but he could line up at the Z. He can line up at the Y. He could be a big slot. I think a lot of people are going to have him as a big slot receiver, as a third or a fourth option. There are people that are coming around to him being a number one or a number two, but I see a lot of people that still have him in like the 15th range. I think he's a top 10 receiver in this draft. I'd say top 5 currently. Obviously subject to change, but currently right now, he's my 3rd overall receiver, and I've watched the majority of the top receivers so far. So I hope that kind of explains that. As far as the cons, before we get into the tape, he lacks the desired long speed. Okay, I don't think it's going to be a huge issue because, Mike Evans and Drake London, who he's been compared to me, I see more Mike Evans. Mike Evans is who I've compared him to. I've seen other people say Drake London. I've seen people say, Michael Pittman. I don't know. For me, he just looks so much like Mike Evans, and those guys aren't exactly burners. I mean, 4.5 speed, you do that, you run against one of those guys, you yourself, you're probably blowing you out of the water. But as far as the NFL, those guys aren't exactly burners. However, I don't think people realize we overrate 40-yard time. Obviously, the Rams know this because they have their own method. But we overrate 40-yard dash and 40 times so much because how many times have you seen a guy who runs like a 4.7 and he plays in the league? Or like Demarcus Robinson, for instance. The guy isn't remotely fast. He's just, he runs a 4.6, right? But he still finds a way to stack the defensive back, create some separation, and, catches that game winner against the guy who ran a 4.3, right? In the guy out of UTSA whose name is totally escaping me, Reek Woolen. So that's kind of what I'm talking about, is that play speed is kind of different, right? Those 40 times are not measured with, all sorts of padding on. So that's something to keep in mind. And like I said before, throughout the year on this channel, Mike Evans separates, man. And Jayden Higgins separates. But he's not a powerful blocker. And this is really one of the cons here. He's not a powerful blocker. He needs to have more pop behind his pads. It's a correctable thing. He can be coached up. I think really altogether the biggest con for Jayden Higgins is that he can do everything, but there are certain things that he's doing without great technique, and it's minimizing the impact. You see it with the blocking. Love that you're willing and you're a good blocker at the college level, but in the NFL, you're going to get run over, right? So, love the willing blocking, love the ability to win off the line of scrimmage and all that. But if he has better technique, this is going to allow him to win more often than not. So when you have a wide receiver coach in Eric Yarber, who is probably like the Jeff Stoutland, if you guys don't know him, he's the Eagles offensive line coach and has been for over a decade now. He's like the Jeff Stoutland of wide receiver coaches, in my opinion. I think Eric Yarber is second to none, and his body of work shows that. So I think if you put him with Eric Yarber, everything that he already has, he's not just a lump of clay that you need to mold. He's already got a lot of the traits that you look for. And I think Higgins, some people will disagree with me. I would take him at 26th overall because I think you might be thinking in terms of your favorite mock draft simulator out there has him in the third round. He's not going the third round. I really don't think he's going to go in the third round unless he runs a 4.7. And to be honest with you, that would make me like him even more because then he would probably fall to the second and I could trade down. But I think he's going to go top, way at the end of the first or early second. That's where I see him. And so I think the Rams' connection with Nate Scheelhaase makes him very interesting. And that's what I wanted to say. All right, let's dive into the tape, folks, because, we got it right here. So this is Iowa State taking on Baylor. And, we're gonna skip through these. Let's see here. Got to make sure we know who that. I believe that's him. Yes, number 9. And you can see right away. You talk about the blocking. Willing blocker gets up here. He's able to get into position here, but he is pushed back by a defensive back here. You'll watch this again. See, he's kind of pushed off a little bit there. So that's something to keep in mind because, you do see that right away. I hate that it does that. Anyway, you do see that right away. He does get pushed back. You'll see it from this angle here. There's just not pop. See, so he's a little bit out of position here and is able to get into somewhat of a position, but then he's pushed back into the ball carrier. Then he gets, a jolt. So those are some little things that you'll notice here. And where is he on this? He was right there. So see, and by the way, there's the pacing there, that kind of manipulation where he starts off slow and then he comes out and, kind of gives him a little bit of a sledgehammer approach there. All right, let's look at this one here. So this is a game he went over 100 yards, had a touchdown. You see him over here, stops on a dime. You love that about him. Can run those curls. Obviously, this is just a run, but you can see that right away. And now here he's going to line up right here. So you have him lined up here. And it's just quick, easy, and then just accelerates. So there's the ankle flexion on full display. you see it right away. The big thing that's going to allow wide receivers to do what they do after the catch and really position them is you have to position yourself. You get yourself in a position. So you see right here, right? You're going to have to put yourself in the best position. This is a nice quick route, quick slant, right? It's about 3 yards, 4 yards. Now he's going to catch it. He's already got half of the first down marker. And now he's got 5. Now look at the way he positions his next footing. He's going to, the ankle flexion, he's cutting upfield. They're all no wasted motion. And you could see that allows him to skeet by this guy and then cut across right through there. And this is what we talk about. This is what makes Mike Evans really good after the catch and bigger guys like that, Drake London and so forth. These guys know how to position themselves where once they make the catch, they're already turning upfield. And this is no wasted motion. He does a nice job, moves upfield, gets the first down and more. So that's a really good, show of what, Jayden Higgins can do. And now I believe that's him right there. And it is. So you'll see here the pacing, right? So the pacing, see, it's kind of like starts off slow, then like kind of accelerates here. And I mean, he won that. It wasn't thrown to him, but he won that. So let's look at this here. I don't even think Higgins was on that play. I think he's out of the game on this one. Yeah, he's out of the game on this one. Okay. All right, so there he is. Look at how quick he was. This is what I mean. He shouldn't be able to move like this. Look at the foot speed. Look at the foot quickness. Watch this. This is like no wasted motion. I know it didn't go to him, but that's the thing is this is why we don't watch highlights on this channel. Because if you actually want to scout these players, you need to see what happens when they don't get the ball thrown to them. Are they still playing with the same desire? Are they still playing with the same fire? Are they still actually interested in playing? And you see there, he's churning upfield. Knows he's not going to get the ball thrown to him still. He's doing his job anyway. Okay, here's Jayden Higgins here. I mean, this is 5 yards, so he's going to have to let go. He's still kind of holding on to him, so this is a penalty. He still kind of ripped him there. Comes back to the ball, and this ends up being a run. So a quarterback run here. And, I mean, you watch here, this is physicality at its strong point. So Higgins is in kind of a weird spot. He's coming upfield, and this guy is literally hugging him. And then he tries to grab onto him. Higgins shoves him out. See, look at how much he looks like the Mr. Fantastic here. Look at how much of that jersey is being tugged. So then he pushes off, gets off him, is available. And I don't know if this is Rocco Becht. I think it is. He's got to deliver this ball. I mean, obviously, you end up getting the first down, but I probably would have thrown this football because look, he's running out of a clean pocket here. No one's available. He doesn't give this guy a chance, which is Jayden Higgins. And then he finally gets open here, and Becht just keeps his eyes downfield, down. He's not even looking. And so this is where, I think some people would be picky, like, okay, go out and block. Like, you'd like to see Higgins go out here. I think this was honestly, it worked out for Becht, but I definitely think he should have thrown this ball. So, and that's something I look for in quarterbacks when I'm scouting quarterbacks. Are you going to drop your eyes and just become a runner there? Or are you going to keep the rest of the play available? Because like right here, if he just throws this thing, I mean, I don't know. But again, he got the first down. So like, whatever. I'm just being picky. There you have him. Higgins right there. Yeah, so not really much going because they ran at the opposite part of the field. Okay, so where is Higgins? He's not in on this play. And he's not in on this play either. And there he is. And there's not really much to be made of that play. He shoves the guy. I mean, yeah. Okay, there you got Higgins here. So they go to Higgins. Let's watch how he tries to win this. So he's going to go outside here. There is outside leverage. There's a little bit of a hezzy step, and he's just going to go and try and win this on the outside. I mean, obviously the ball, this play is clearly designed to go to the back pylon. There's the pacing. There's the acceleration. And it's a good play by the DB. But let's see. Is it a good play by the DB? Or was this dropped? I mean, it's still a good play either way. I can't even tell. Does Higgins have that ball and then just drops it? I can't even tell from that. I think it's broken up by 24, or he's all over him. But I don't think, I think he dropped it or it was broken up. Either way. All right. Higgins on the outside here. You see him, quick footwork right here. Inside release. And they end up running the ball anyway. All right. There's Higgins. Oh, no, that's Higgins. Goes right to him. See, look at how, like, he shouldn't be able to move like that. That's what I'm saying. You watch here, when they say stop on a dime, it's a dime because a dime is small. And look at how quickly he stops. Look at that short area. He gets the ball there, and there you go. Like, that's, to be able to win those is a big deal. I think that's Higgins, yeah. Right there. That's just a clear out route. Okay. Higgins going for the inside release, and they end up running it, so it's not like it matters. Higgins is over here. We got Higgins again right here. As you can see, he is interchangeable. He lines up in different spots. He's got Higgins. And look at that. Oh, he dropped it. That's a shame. So his improv here, this is what I'm talking about. I know he didn't make the catch, but this is what I'm talking about here. The improv that like a Travis Hunter doesn't have that I'd like him to have. Because watch this again. Rocco Becht has this ball. Okay. At this point, he's not even looking at Higgins. Higgins right here is going to peel off. He's going to go downfield because watch. Again, there's Higgins. No, you know what? I think this was part of the route. But it is good that he put his hand up and was like, give me the ball. And then he's kind of out of position because this Rocco did not get rid of the ball quick enough, but Higgins still has to probably catch this ball. We're going to see from this angle here. Oh, yeah, that needs to be caught. Oh, he had it. It was that. That's a beautiful hit on the football by number 7. Anyway, there's Higgins. I like that. Goes right in position to block. And there's Higgins there. Higgins. Would have liked to see. So if he Becht actually wasn't looking. I mean, if he looks, he could have thrown this to Higgins and would have been probably running a long time. But yeah. Okay, there's Higgins. You just see it's pitch and catch with him. Really quick out of his breaks. Fluid route runner. Would like to see a little bit less of that body there. Being like just absorbing the ball into his body. But, ooh, I like that. Doesn't matter because they ran the ball. Higgins is not in on this play. Okay, now Higgins is right there. I don't know why Becht threw that, but hard to tell. I think that's Higgins. Yeah, it is. And you could see right away. I mean, there are people that say he has a hard time accelerating off the line of scrimmage. I'm not saying he's Tyreek Hill, but like, is this really a hard time? I mean, that's a good play. Damn good play. There he is right there. But he's being tugged and he still holds on. That's the thing. I think he's really going to help you over the middle. I think he can win on the outside. Like, does a nice job. He knows where, the out of bounds spot is. He knows where, the spatial awareness is there. There's a nice block there by Higgins. He's still blocking him. All right, let's watch this again. Good block. Higgins, see, now he positions himself. Yeah, that's a really good block by Higgins. All right. There he is right there. Higgins is isolated one-on-one on the outside. This would be a far hash throw, so they're going to roll out, dump it off. Again, like willing blocker, not bad blocking, but like this is where a wide receiver coach in the NFL, mainly being somebody like Eric Yarber, is really going to help him because he's a willing guy. He's not afraid to block. He just doesn't really have the pop because look at how high he is. He's not a bad blocker, but he's not great. Here he is again. There's a touchdown. Oh, that's not Higgins. Where is he? Oh, he's right there. Okay. Yeah, look at deep ball. I don't think he caught that. But he does draw the penalty here. So let's see how he does it again. You see right away, I mean, this is an ex-receiver, though. Being able to get to this second level, eat that up, and then draw a penalty. I mean, that's what you want your ex to do. Obviously, you want him to go up and high point the football and make the catch and all that. But, like, I think this is a really good rep by Higgins to even get out there, force this contact. And, yeah, he gets the penalty. And by the way, that's only a 15-yard penalty in college. That's a spot foul in the NFL. That's a huge penalty. That takes them from, so let's see, Becht throws this. They're at the 35. Becht throws this all the way down to the 25. That's a huge penalty. So those are the things I look for. There are other things I look for, obviously, but that's a big one. I can't tell. Was that Higgins? I don't think so. No, it wasn't. No, Higgins was right there. Being held. All right. So here's Higgins on the outside. I like the block there. Ooh. There's another penalty he just draw. He just drew. Look at this. He just draw. All right. Watch him here. So he's going to come up and play Higgins. Watch this again. Dude, like, you're not beating that. He just totally destroyed you on an inside release. The only way to do it is you hold him. He also had the recovery speed to do it, but then you see the flag come out, and there you go. He just generated another flag. So these are hidden yards. Tutu Atwell gets a lot of those, or got a lot of those when he got opportunities. This is just as good as making the catch. I mean, obviously you'd like to have the big time play, but look, I mean, he's being held here. It's just straight cheating. So he draws the penalty, and that's 2 big time penalties drawn by Jayden Higgins, which is what you want to see. Yeah, he wasn't out there for that. There he is, though. The other receiver is not half bad, by the way, for Illinois. Jalen Knoll. All right. Here's Higgins. This is his touchdown, I believe. 21-19. Iowa State is down. And what are we looking at? This is situational. So this is third quarter. Iowa State is down. They need this. So here's Jayden Higgins. Going to get out there. A huge touchdown catch. Or did he drop it? Oh, yeah, he dropped it. Oh, no, he overthrew him. You can't really see. The quality is terrible. But, yeah, I mean, he had him. And he just overthrew him. Okay, so he didn't get the touchdown here. He gets a touchdown in this game, though. I can tell you that. So, okay, so now it's 26-21. Higgins is right there. Blocking was not half bad on that play. See him right here. There's Higgins in motion. Okay, here's Higgins. He's right there on this one. I just really like his footwork. I like his fluidity. This will be a guy I think people overthink and pay for it. There he is, isolated on the bottom. Oh, well, we just hit whatever that was. It just brought us all the way back. Okay, let's see if we can. Okay, we're back. So now we have Higgins here. It's open again. No throw. I mean, this is what you talk about. If I get the ball to you, can you make a play after the catch? I don't think Rocco Beck's a bad quarterback, but he is not a top quarterback in this draft. He's not like having Cam Ward. So this ball is thrown a little high, but we'll take it. And the first thing he's doing is putting himself in position. All right, I've secured it. I've brought it in. Now I'm going to run upfield. Now he's already trying to kind of get upfield, but also trying to get past this guy. So he does that. That corner has no angle because of the way he runs. And then look at that. Look at the ankle flexion there. Like, it's clear. This guy knows how to press upfield, and you're seeing it right away. Boom. That first step. Look at how sharp that cut is. There you have it again. Boom. And the physicality to just, you know what, I just want to take this hit. He's a real good player, folks. You are going to be getting a really good player if you draft Jayden. I'm telling you, if you draft Jayden Higgins, you're going to be drafting a really good player. Oh, and would you look at that? There's our touchdown. Look at how he wins. No chance. Also, by the way, on this specific play, he lines up here. No contest here. This is going to be a blitz. So he's working on what likely is the safety here. Now, watch. He's quicker. He gets out here. This is not a great throw by Becht because he's not throwing back shoulder. He's going to throw it more inside. So Higgins knows he has to adjust. He adjusts. He makes the play, boxes out the safety, and you have a touchdown, Iowa State. And that's just kind of what, I'm not going to get into any of the other games because, we don't want this video to be 10 years old, or 10 years long. But you look here, the positioning. When I say he can adjust, like, this is in midair. Look at the adjustment and look at the way he's positioned where he's adjusting, but he's also completely boxing out his defender. So now this ball is only going to go here. He has zero chance of catching a ricochet. This is only going in his hands or dropping to the turf. And there you go. And that is who Jayden Higgins is. So really excited about this prospect. I hope, for the love of God, the Rams like him as much as I like him and Blaine likes him and other people like him. I would take him in the first round as of right now. I would take him at 26. If you don't feel comfortable with that, I move down. I'm telling you, wherever you think he is going to go based on the mock draft machines, he is going to go higher. I don't see him falling to third. I think he's going to be a early second round pick, late first. I'm telling you right now, get in on the hype. Jayden Higgins is going to be a good one. I'm just saying. So again, special shout out to BetUS for sponsoring this video, and hope you guys enjoyed. If you like this type of video, there's going to be more of it, but you got to tell me you like it, and you got to show me you like it in the comments section. That's going to do it. I'm Jake Ellenbogen. I'll see you guys soon. Later, folks. All right, guys. So once again, just want to let you guys know that you can check out my new side project, The Lounge. I interview athletes, musicians, actors, actresses, all the nine. So definitely check it out over on The Lounge with Jake Ellenbogen channel. Be sure to subscribe and enjoy. In case you guys haven't noticed, I do have a Discord channel for my community on this channel. And if you want to be a part of it, it is free. The link is in the description below. You can sign up. This is basically a 24/7 Rams channel, and we are almost at 1,100 members. So if you want to be a part of it, just hit the link in the description below.